I'm rolling.
I'm rolling.
I'm rolling Mitsuomis.
Your microphone's cutting out. It's doing that weird thing.
What with it? Maybe it's your shitty speakers.
It's not. It's definitely not. Is it doing the same for you, Bruce?
Generally, it's okay, but it got a little bit distorted there.
So if I tell a story, once I went down to the fishing hole and I got out my rod and I pumped it straight into the hole.
We're not using the audio from that, are we? We're using the audio from your...
As long as you can
So
hear
that
it,
should be fine.
Yeah.
That should be fine.
Okay.
Right. I've synced my audio up. Chris, can you do a little clap for me? Excellent. Al, could you do a little clap for me? Did you clap? I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, that wasn't it wasn't a very good clap.
Beautiful. Got it then. Top stuff. Right. Shall we start?
That's a better clap.
I thought you'd be used to clap. Anyway.
Am I in focus?
All good. Right, boys, thank you very much for coming to join me. And starters with me to go on.
Very good. I'm not drinking because I'm boring.
You're responsible.
I'm having an iced coffee.
Mocha
Did you go to
chocolate.
Starbucks to get that?
No, it's a Tesco's job. But I still have to queue outside Tesco's because of bloody 2 metre rule. And all I want is one of these.
Was it worth
and
it?
then right down the back. Oh, it definitely is, yeah. I don't even drink coffee. Like, I haven't drunk coffee ever in my life, and I've just discovered these, and it's basically like ice, sort of a milkshake,
Yeah.
just with a bit of coffee in it.
You gotta go black. Like your men, you gotta go black with coffee.
All right, then, Bruce. I mean, I'll never go back.
That's apparently it's what we've heard.
Yeah. Too
Al,
salt
what's
bleeding.
your tipple?
I've gone for a Thatcher's Gold.
Oh, you see, you're
Yeah.
you're a good Southwest boy. You.
I am indeed. I love my cider. Yeah, you can't go wrong.
Good work. Good work. Right, gents. As I said, thank you very much for coming on to the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Greatly appreciated. It's caused a bit of a stir. This. I don't think my social media has ever been as busy, and we've got quite a few questions. So,
Well, we are amazing. So
you are pretty awesome. Yeah, it has to be said. Has to be said. Shall we start? And I'll mention this once. We'll start with I have a thing over on Patreon. I call them my clan, and not that clan, but they've put in some questions. So, if we go with them, what have we got here? Paul Simpson. Chris, I believe you still have an outstanding hefty fine in Switzerland and you can't go back. Is that right?
no, actually, it's all paid. So that was we're going back to the budget bike battle Italia.
Yep.
Where I got done right up the Grimsel, and that was a €4,000 on the spot fine on the spot. Wow. Like chip and pin, like actual credit card, which was. I had to ring the bank, extend my overdraft, like get it all. They were like, "Why?" I was like, "Never mind." And anyway, yeah. So I had to do that, or they were going to take the bike, and we were. How long were we there, Al? 2 hours.
Longer
around.
than that. Yeah. By the time they faffed around and realised that I got away with it, and then our cameraman Sam, Chlamydia Sam, he got a fine as well. So by the time they faffed around there, and it was all means tested, wasn't it? So by the time you.
I had to say, do I own a house? Do I have a job? What's my income? What are my dependents? All this stuff, which I was entirely accurate with. And eventually paid it, and they were like, bye, and thought that was it. And then got home, and about 3 weeks later, the letter landed on the door. That was a deposit. That £4,000 was a deposit.
What?
So the actual fine was 12,000 Swiss francs, which is about 11,000 euros.
No way.
Or 42 days in prison. So, and also being Swiss, they just don't give a shit. So it's all in German. Can't here. If you get a letter from anywhere, it's like
18 languages. Yeah.
So all I see is 12,000. You know, like what's going on? So I have to get it translated and all this stuff. But basically, that was a what do they call it? A suspended sentence. So basically, if I went back to Switzerland and did anything wrong, so whether that is fart in a queue, whatever, that €12,000 fine or 42 days in prison was waiting for me. So,
oh my God.
Needless to say, I haven't been back.
And are you going back?
Fuck them. Do you know what? I don't see the point, because it's so, you can get in so much. If you've got no money and you're not means testable type thing, and you can go and be a hooligan and you want to do it, fine. But I've got too much to risk, so there's no point going back to Switzerland. So no, fuck off.
I mean, I've only ever done Switzerland once, and I mean, it's stunning, it's beautiful, isn't it? But it's just not
Incredible.
worth it. It's just not worth it, like you said.
Well, it was my favourite place. I was like, my God, this is just amazing.
Yeah.
Like that playground, the Grimsel, Suston, Furka sort of area. Like, you can drop into Italy. There's so much stuff you can do, and it is beautiful. But the danger of, they're not particularly good at telling you what speed limit it is either.
Right.
And that section of the Grimsel, here it would have been a easily de-restricted, nobody cares, right, Al? That bit we got done, that big straight line with no one in it. But they had that as a 50. And I did 80. Oh, by the way, that was the thing, I was 80 in a 55.
What, kilometres or miles?
Miles. And it was 12,000 quid potentially. And it's like, look, we've all gone a bit, throttle happy. I don't deny the crime, but it's a bit extreme. So no, not
it's ridiculous, back. Especially if you were to go, the next country north into Germany, and you'd get like a €15 fine. That's it.
Yeah, maybe, but I think they're all going that way these days.
Oh, man.
It's all. But also in Germany, my girlfriend's German, and she's saying that they have different things. So on each bridge overpass, they have cameras which measure your distance to the vehicle in front, and they are super strict. So you can get absolutely, for tailgating, so you can get absolutely rogered for that. So basically, it's over. The European party is over.
Spain.
Unless you just take your number plate off and fuck off.
Spain, mountains, Spain.
Spain, yeah, Greece, somewhere where you can, grease up a couple of euros, put them out your bum and go, Ray.
Honestly, like the first time I went to Spain, and I was up on the N260, and I was doing a bit of filming at the side of the road to the camera, and these two bike coppers went by on like scramblers, in shirts with shades on, no gloves, nothing like that, and so I caught up behind them eventually on the bike, and I sat behind them for ages, and you could see them looking over their shoulder, and eventually they were just like, wave me by. So I went to overtake them, and as I got alongside them, the pair of them whacked it on the back wheel and wheelied, and they were like, go, go, go. I was like, oh, Spain's the place for me.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Right, so Switzerland is now off the list. Okay.
Yeah, for a long time.
Next one, Michael Maguire. How much does Fagan hate that the Baron is now faster than he is on track? Basically, an office graphic designer beating a racer. Ooh.
I don't know how to answer that one.
No, I didn't know that one was there, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's a fast lad now.
Pilsy.
Ever since you've been on your pills, it's your braking's really, really good.
Yeah.
Which is the area that you were shocking at. So I mean, I wouldn't say faster. If we're getting competitive, I wouldn't say faster.
It's not. So it's not faster, but it's definitely a lot closer than it was.
Oh yeah. I mean, it used to be like you said on the BBB video. I think it used to be sort of 4, 5, 6 seconds sometimes. I was watching some of the unreleased video that we did at Estoril a few years ago on the Panigale V4 and Euro R1.
Yeah,
and it was I couldn't believe it. The difference now to what it was then, it's night and day. It's not just a little bit faster.
I couldn't even ride that bike actually. The Panigale R. We parked it after. I was like, I can't handle that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So what's caused that then, Chris? How come you've got so much quicker? Is it just time on the track, or have you actually had tuition? Or
following me?
Obviously,
ultimately, but it is. It's following. That's the only way to get faster. Is go out with faster people.
Yeah.
Like, you can read and research and do all this shit until the cows come home. But unless you go out in a group of people that are faster than you, and you can't just go straight out with someone who's much faster than you. You've got to do this sort of catch-up thing.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
Baby steps, like hang on to someone who's 2 seconds quicker than you a lap. Get up to him. Get rid of that guy. Find another guy that's another 2 seconds.
Or her.
Or her.
Yeah.
And do it that way. And so riding with Al has made me much, much faster. And then the other thing, which it is something to do with it, but I don't know if it's a coincidence. I'll be interested now because when this was RSV4 versus Panigale, was it? The pills video?
Don't know.
At Jerez. Like the first time it was noticeably, fucking hell, Chris has got a bit quick. Anyway, so that coincided with this. I went back on some medication, so like antidepressant medication, and it just so happened to coincide with me going quicker. And it was like, okay, well, does it make sense? Because it's an anti-anxiety pill.
Yeah.
So all of the anxiety that you feel in a braking zone isn't really there anymore.
Right.
So it's kind of like, oh, I might have outbroke myself.
C'est la vie. Yeah.
Whereas before it's like, and then it's kind of like, oh, maybe, oh no, it's all right, I've made it. So it kind of, it suppresses that
Right.
emotion. So yes. And recently, literally in this lockdown, I decided to come off those pills after being back on them for 2 years because there's nothing to do. So anyway, I'm managing some weird side effects of that. But it'd be interesting to go back on a bike now and just see if any of that learning has stuck in the brain, or if it is back to fuck, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Which is the only thing that really makes you go slow is the fuck, I'm going to fall off.
Yeah, the fear of death.
If you knew you weren't going to fall off, you'd go much faster into a corner, wouldn't you?
Well, I've found, I very rarely go on the track, I hardly ever go on the track, but my road riding has got markedly slower. But then I've had quite a few crashes, and I think it just, I don't know, it's a combination of getting older and realising it bloody hurts when you crash. And
Definitely getting older.
Yeah, that sort of
it doesn't matter.
safety valve that you have in you, that seems to grow, doesn't it, as you get older?
Yeah, or the pupper valve starts to get looser.
That's it, yeah. But a lot of my mates that I used to ride with before I did the round the world trip, they were all like, okay, now, you're going to spend a year and a half on your bike. When you come back, you're just going to be insane. Because I was reasonably fast before I went. And I came back, and they were like, what happened to you? It's like you can't ride anymore. And I seem to have just got worse and worse and slower ever since then.
But then a very, very valid point is what you're considering worse and worse is slower and slower. But then perhaps you were riding recklessly before you went.
Absolutely,
and now actually you've seen so much experience on the road that you know that a bear might come jumping out of the Siberian woods. Or whatever, all the things you've seen. So, is it better or worse? I'd probably say it's better.
I think I'm definitely safer, but not as fast. And obviously safer on the road, safer's better, isn't it? And
that's what matters at the end of the day, is you go home to see your family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think where I was comfortable with my norm before, because I thought, no, I can react, I can stop, I can deal with anything that's coming my way. Well, something happens, and you can't. You haven't got enough time to react. And yeah, it's definitely that learning experience, the learning curve, isn't it? Anyway, right. Another one about the fine. Someone else asking about your fine. Here's one from Ed.
I'll elaborate quickly about the fine, because one of them I noticed on the thing was, have you paid it off yet or something? So amazingly, pretty soon after we released that BBB, the Budget Bike Battle video, so many of you, and thank you so much, so many of you bought merch, bought stickers, bought so much stuff that actually we paid that fine off in about a week, probably. Something like that.
Wow.
So, and that was, that's thanks to you. Yes, it was an amazing piece of content and shit luck, but, thank you again so much for helping us with that. So, very valid point. So,
people's generosity kind of takes you back sometimes, doesn't it? It's amazing.
Amazing. £5 from, if some one person has to pay £4,000, it's a big thing, but if everyone pays £5, it's like, oh, well, fair enough. Yeah. So, but
it's crazy. I mean, when we first started this thing, we were talking about how would we make money from it, and Chris suggested crowdfunding, and I was like, they were stupid. Yeah. But actually, actually, if people appreciate the content, and obviously, thankfully they do. The merch sales and everything else, and the membership for YouTube, it is incredible. I've never ever thought we'd reach this level.
Yeah.
It's truly humbling.
I'm the same,
especially as no one likes you as well. So.
Yeah.
I'm the same. Like I was told to start a Patreon. And it gets. I'm lucky. I don't get too much grief about Patreon, but I know the likes of TMF and Chopsy and that they get quite a lot of grief in their comments about having a Patreon page. I don't, thankfully. So thank you very much. And I never, like you, never ever thought that. Why would someone pay to effectively watch something that they can watch for free on YouTube anyway? And as you said, people's generosity is just unreal, especially in these times when I thought my Patreon would effectively die away because a lot of people have been furloughed, people have lost their jobs. It's actually gone up because people they appreciate you. Like for me, making that leap from full-time old Bill to full-time YouTuber now, I suppose, and people appreciate that, so they're trying to help out. It's nuts. It's crazy.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And what happened? So, because what happened with your old Bill thing? That's all done now, is it?
Well, yeah. All it was. Weirdly, it was the lowest.
Or you're not allowed to talk about it.
No, I can talk about it. It was. There's two different levels of discipline in the old Bill. You've got misconduct and then you've got gross misconduct. So misconduct, the absolute worst you can get on a misconduct is like a formal board, so you have to go into a room and sit in front of a panel of people. A little bit like a court, they put the allegation towards you and what they think, and you have a chance to give your side of events, and then they decide what happens. And the absolute worst that can happen is you get a written warning that says, for the next 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, you have to keep squeaky clean, do not step out of line, and then after that time, done and dusted, that's it. So that's all it is. It's a formal thing that goes on your record, that's it. If it goes to gross misconduct, then that's a whole different kettle of fish, and the worst that can happen with that is you go to jail. It can be right up to you losing your job, lose the pension, and they'll throw you in jail. So mine was just at the misconduct level, but it was the top of the misconduct level because they said my integrity was in question because I sometimes blurred.
This is all because you decided you blurred a Speedo.
Yeah, because I blurred a Speedo in. I blur the Speedo in quite a lot of vids, to be honest. And they said the fact doesn't matter if I was speeding or if I wasn't speeding. The fact that I'm blurring the Speedo is an integrity issue, and integrity is non-negotiable. And they said, in the inspector's words, she said, in her view, I was a disgrace to the Metropolitan Police. So,
fuck off.
Yeah. So, it kind of, I thought, right, I can stop doing the vids.
Is that Cressida Dick?
Pardon?
Was that Cressida Dick?
No. This was. Oh God, what was her name? I forgot.
What's her name, Alistair?
I know.
That's the commissioner.
She's the chief.
Dick.
She's the chief constable.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. The weird thing is that this inspector in the sort of professional standards in these things outranks anybody because she's the one that's got sort of rank for this investigation, and because it's professional standards, they outrank everybody. So basically it came down to her opinion, and she plainly didn't like me, and that was that. So and I thought, they told me it could be 2 years for the investigation, and I thought, I can.
What's a waste of everyone's taxpayer money?
Yeah.
What a
It's
load
ridiculous.
of shit. The whole thing is a load of shit.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm sorry but the civil service, public sector, is just a fucking waste of money, isn't it?
Yeah.
So much. I'm not saying everything's a waste of money, but I'm saying the management of that in so many different areas just seems to be pouring money down the toilet.
Absolutely.
Fixing the roads. Get some fucking dirty bastard to come and throw some shit in a hole, and then they know full well that in 3 months' time the pothole's going to be back, but they don't care because someone keeps telling them to go and fix it.
Yeah.
It's another $3,000. Choo.
Yeah, and it justifies their existence, doesn't it? It justifies why they're there. There was a
I don't
problem,
know why
and
the council don't have their own actual road fixing department rather than outsourcing it. It's because they're all fucking lazy. Yeah. Sorry, but you are. I hate you.
The thing is, you go onto the continent, into Europe, and you go places like Switzerland, Germany, Norway,
Spain, even.
Yeah, but I mean, they have a proper winter where the roads take a punishment, and a lot of the tyres have got spikes on them anyway. But they fix it. The job's, it's done, it's catered, and the roads are back open, and off you go.
Takes the piss. It's because we're not like the French, where if anything that slightly to their dislike happens, they just throw their toys out the pram. We're just like, oh well, let's get on with it. Stiff upper lip and all that. Let's sit in this massive queue. I mean, lockdown shop entry is Britain's. We must love it.
I think we're gold medal at this. We're gold medal.
We are. Oh, look at that queue. Let's just join it. Brilliant.
Don't know what it's for.
So, yeah. Anyway, there needs to be so much reform, but this is
let's not get into that.
I know.
Let's not get into politics, please, Chris.
Shall we tackle religion now?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Right, Nick Turnbull. My question on BBB: why does Al always choose the crap bike, and Chris always seems to get a minter?
It's not intentional. I'll tell you that. I mean. I think what it is I think Chris always buys the first bike.
Right.
No, it's down to intelligence and actually finding the right bike.
Shut up. It's so Chris buys the bike, and then I have a carrot dangled in front of me, and that carrot has to be beaten severely. So, unfortunately, I mean, the Hornet was a good bike.
Yeah.
The 999 was a good bike. But. Yeah, it seems like
the Hornet wasn't that good. It was pretty. You paid quite a lot of money for it, and it was pretty. Like once we lifted that tank, there was some pretty
Oh, mate, it was much nicer than your Bandit. But anyway, let's not get to
sandwich wrapper things holding the fuel pipes on and stuff.
But there was that one little issue. Anyway, the point is, Suzuki's. I've seemed to pick some shit Suzuki's, that's for sure. But it's all a bit of fun, and that's what makes the content, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I mean, if we didn't have these problems, then it would just be boring. So
I mean, it is an absolutely diamond idea, that budget bike battle. Fantastic. I'm jealous. I wish I'd thought of something like that. It's amazing.
I mean, but it'd be interesting. You say that without the problems, it wouldn't be good content. But the weirdly budget bike battle Italia, where it's like historically Italian bikes have been absolutely awful. Not one. We didn't have any problems on that, did we? Well, we had different problems. So the problems just find us when we're ready, basically.
But that's what makes good viewing. So yeah.
Exactly.
Another one, Paul Simpson. Where do you get your sexy, outrageous outfits from? You lads have had that. I was half expecting you to turn up in that glittery silver jacket.
I've got it there.
Amazon.
Cheapest crap.
Just type in party shirt or party jacket, party shoes. I mean, those shoes in BBB Italia, I still get a boner looking at them now. I mean,
amazing.
That's the slow mo of us walking down the. He's off. The slow mo, walking through the hallway with those shoes. It's just, like I said, it still gives me a stiffy now.
That's genius. Yeah. How'd you do? Who's filming when you're away?
Here we go.
There it is.
Oh, nice.
Look at that.
Liking it.
We use Chlamydia Sam. He is a freelance videographer, and he's the fact there's no point beating around the bush. We can't afford the £1,000 a day jobs, but Sam is still very good for he still gets paid a sort of a handsome amount of money, but it's nowhere near £1,000 a day, that's for sure. But he's into bikes. He's a good lad, and the thing is as well. Let's be honest. When we go away on these trips, they have to be a certain type of person. They have to be able to fit into what we do.
Absolutely.
Manage us for a week.
Yeah. On and off camera.
And off camera, because and manage the hangovers in the morning.
And trust.
That's the biggest thing I was going to get to. Trust. I mean, obviously we can't film everything we get up to.
Don't know what you mean.
Put your phone on silent, mate.
Yeah. Don't mind us.
I'm just popular. I'm running a business. You guys are doing fuck all.
Yeah, we're just having shits and giggles.
Yeah.
So I was on.
Sorry, Al, you were talking.
I can't remember what I was talking about.
Trust with Sam with the filming and stuff.
We can't film everything we get up to for obvious reasons, and but that person has to be here to. We have to trust that person.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain things that we've said perhaps or done.
Yeah.
On camera, offhand, whatever, that if you're a politician or anyone in the public eye, you're in trouble.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. All received.
Yeah.
Enough said. Right, Rory Martin, big fan of both channels. Thank you very much. Cheers, Rory. Is there any chance of an adventure bike budget battle?
I'd love to.
Yeah.
And I mean, I personally, yes, all the launches and stuff are great, but I'd love to spend much more time doing adventures and doing way more content like that. But it's so expensive to put together.
That's the thing.
And yes, we have channel sponsors here and there which help out, but the reality is, if we want to do a proper adventure, it's really we need to spend 2 weeks away. Like the last one, we managed to cram into 6 days. Was it 7 days? Which is ridiculous when you think about all that footage, all that content, having to get from here there. The lockdown was sort of coming. There was shit going on, and we just managed to do it all. And it was so time pressured. But really, you need a couple of weeks away from your family, away from day job work. Yeah. So we'd love to spend more time doing it, but it just takes an awful lot of time and money to make happen.
That's it. I don't think anyone appreciates how much money is spent. I mean, yes, a lot of it is booze. I'm not going to lie, but the hotels for 3 or 4 of us, the travel, the fuel, the track time.
I mean, hotels on BBB Italia. I think it was probably that on it itself was $3,000.
Yeah.
Sorry, say again.
The hotels on BBB Italia was circa $3,000.
Oh, easy.
Hotels
Yeah. I think it's more than that. It was more than that, yeah.
Because you've got me and him. I don't want to share a room.
No, there's no way I'm sharing.
40 years old. I've had enough. So
42.
A man needs some time alone.
Exactly. And you're going to Switzerland, you're going to Tuscany, you're going to all these places, and you've got a cameraman. Sometimes we have Gary along, so he needs a hotel. So then you've got 4 nights, 4 people, 4 rooms, 8 nights. Yeah. And you're just like shit. Yeah. And everyone needs, well, the Alpine, the hotel we stayed in there, the gin and tonics, what were they? 28 quid each or something.
28?
Well, we didn't know that until we didn't know that until the next day.
Yeah, the bar bill was 600 quid or something. Stupid.
For one night. We came down in the morning and we saw the bar bill at our breakfast table. Yeah. And it was 600 quid.
And we're like, don't worry, Gary, we'll sell some more tyres. Was that the night you had to sleep in the ski boot room because you couldn't get into the hotel?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Funny enough, we shared a room there actually.
I'll bet. Here we go. David Hemmings. So I'm trying to pre-read the question before I ask, just in case. David Hemmings, a question for both of you lads. What's the best thing you've ever done on a bike?
Ooh. Blimey.
Achievement-wise, I think probably that 24-hour trip that I did with my mate Charlie years ago now on the GSs, where we visited. It's a world record. It's a world record.
Yeah.
We visited 14 countries in 22 hours.
Yeah, I watched that one. Yeah.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And that was like that was a proper achievement. Not that the Guinness Book of Records, whatever they're called, would allow it to be ratified, because apparently it involves speeding.
Do you know the guy that bought that bike off you? He messaged me yesterday or the day before.
Oh, yeah.
I do apologise. I can't remember your name. I'm really sorry. But he messaged me and he said to say hello, and he's still got the bike and loves it. Yeah.
Yeah, and he gets recognised for that bike. But yeah, so I bought another one, didn't I? Because I missed my one. But that was pretty. I was kind of new to the touring thing at that point as well. So and that was a pretty eye-opening. I felt good about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good achievement.
I don't know if it's the best thing, but yeah, it was good.
What about you, Al?
I think probably we'd have to go back to racing, because in terms of achievement, I think either winning races. I think the last race, the proper race I won, was the Super Duke R Battle with Thruxton BSB. And the same day I had a Super Sport Cup podium as well. So
awesome.
I think I'd probably go back to racing. Definitely, yeah.
What about the TT?
That's I forgot about that. Yeah, no,
that's the first thing that popped in my head. As soon as you started talking, I thought he's going to mention that.
Forget that. TT. Yeah. Oh, definitely. Oh, I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, TT, definitely. Can I just pause you for a second?
Of course.
Because my camera might run out.
No worry. Still never heard anything.
But here's all I've heard it, so that's what you need, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, Al, what happens is it mutes you until you start talking. So
right.
if you talk and then
do 3 claps.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
You are a dirty little masturbate.
Beautiful, job done. 3 of us it took to figure that out. Yeah, so the TT,
Yes.
I mean, it's a stupid question, this. I can't believe I'm even going to ask it. But is it as big of a buzz as it looks?
Oh, ridiculous. I mean, the first night of practice, when I had no idea what to expect, but the first night when you go out behind your newcomer controlled lap, your speed controlled lap, I went out behind Milky Quail and we set off and I was thinking, we'll just have a little ride around, a nice little gentle. We were flat out straight away. I was getting peppered by stones. And of course, you've got to keep up because otherwise, if you lose them, you don't know where to go, the lines, etc., etc.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, I think they say that having kids and getting married is the best days of your life, and that's bollocks because that was the best day of my life. That was, I mean, just you can't put it into words. The rush you get from having an open road and whizzing past houses at 150 mile an hour. It was just special.
That's just
special.
mental.
I don't know why did I think Super Duke R battle? I don't see it.
I'm gonna change mine to
cool.
crossing the line in the budget bike battle in the open group class. That was pretty. I was pretty pumped for that.
With the TT, I've only ever been once. I went at the end of my trip, 2014, and I like any biker, I like speed, and you get accustomed to getting a lick on, don't you, and enjoying yourself. And I went there, and I actually physically felt sick when the bikes went by me, because it was that realisation that, shit, if they have an accident here, effectively you're going to watch somebody expire, you're going to watch someone end their life there. And it really hit home with me. I was like, fucking hell, I cannot believe how quick they're going. And then when I did, you can go and do the circuit yourself, can't you, when they open the roads up. And I was like going the back section of the island, sort of heading north up to Ramsey, and it's all 50 mile an hour limits, isn't it? And I was getting thrown out my seat at 50 mile an hour on the jigsaw, and I thought, these guys do 180, 190 miles an hour down here. How do they do that?
Oh, yeah. That section from Ginger Hall to Ramsey, it kind of ruined it for me, because that's the bit I didn't enjoy. I hated it. I was holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
And not only is it the surface, but you also, the way the track goes, so it's really difficult to learn that bit. It's all it looks the same, there's no reference points. So you just, the first couple of nights I was sort of like rolling it, staying in the middle of the road, what they call white lining, just following the white line. Yeah. And I didn't enjoy it. But just
I wept the first time I saw a TT bike.
Did you?
I wept. It literally shed a tear, because it's so incredible.
It is.
That when I think it was just outside the grandstand. I walked down to the bottom. First night of practice, I got there, and it was just like, this is so unbelievable that this happens.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, wow, amazing experience, amazing.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go back. Well, we had loads of plans to go this year, but
I'm hopeful. I was supposed to go this year. Obviously, it's not happening now. So our campsite and everything's been put by to next year. So I'm going to be there next year. I'm going with my mate Fulch, top man. So if you lads are there, we'll get a beer with you.
Lovely.
Done.
Right. If it happens.
Well, yeah, I know. It'll happen. What have we got here? Sorry. Daniel Gothridge. My question: does Mossy have to be edited a lot? I ask after he described taking a shit that he thought was a fart on his kitchen floor.
To be fair, I think Mossy, it doesn't need to be edited. To answer the question, no, not much, because he's a professional. He is a proper pro.
He knows the limits.
You said the other. Yeah, no, exactly. But I don't know about knows the limits. But you said yourself, Chris. When we did that the Africa Twin video, his presence on camera and his just his attitude in general. I've never worked with someone who wants to get the job done as much as Mossy and do the job so well.
Yeah,
he's so meticulous.
He bends over backwards to get. If there's no video, it was launched recently. There wasn't a videographer, and he was like, "What? What am I going to do? What am I doing here? My job is to come here and make a video, and you guys haven't provided any video." And by the next morning, they hired some local talent to come down and film it, and he got the job done.
Awesome. So, I've only met Mossy once. I was at the Silverstone GP last year with KTM just for this sort of like pit walk type thing, and Mossy was there, and that was my first introduction to Mossy. Jeez, I mean he's so knowledgeable, isn't he? He's got his own unique character, but by God, that man knows his stuff. And you could see he was asking questions of some of the mechanics and people there, and even they were like, "How do you know this? How do you know about like this specific thing that we're doing?" And some man.
That's what I think. A lot of people don't understand or don't know what Mossy's done. I mean, he is not only is he super fast, he's raced at a high level, and he's done the TT, and he's been a journalist for 25 years. He's worked everywhere. And I don't think a lot of the internet generation know what he's come from and what he's done. So. Yeah,
he's not just an old man in a flat cap.
No.
Well, he is, but he's not.
Oh, he's a good man. Right. Oh, Pete English. Now, Pete is a regular question asker on these, and he comes out with some real probing questions. So let's see what he's got. Pete English. This is all in capitals as well. Do you view others as supporting characters in your life story, or are you the main character in their life story? He always goes deep, does Pete?
I think if you're not the main character in your own life story, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
I think you've got to be the main character,
Otherwise, you're just a bystander.
I'm really selfish. And I'm selfish and egotistical, so...
Narcissistic.
I think you're pretty narcissistic, actually. So there.
So I agree. I think if you without being arrogant and narcissistic and egotistical, I think you've got to look after number one. Yeah, you've got to be number one.
Mm. Yeah, definitely.
Well, what's the point in living?
It's all a competition. Andrew Scott, is it true that Sacha Baron Cohen modelled his character Bruno on Chris?
It is true.
Sorry, man,
every word.
I hadn't read that before. Right. Right, Robert Bryce. I watched your reviews of the Lex Moto Michigan and Viper some time ago now. Have you ever found a tyre on a bike since that topped the performance of the Cordials?
Well, let me correct you, because it was actually the Venom.
Right.
What was it he say?
The Viper.
Oh, Viper, right. Yeah.
Not a fan.
But that was Screech Factor, wasn't it? It was that was around Castle Combe, just the...
Yeah, that was so funny. That was...
Again, a brilliant underrated video.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Do you find that, like, some videos that you do, you think, oh, this is gold. This is absolutely YouTube gold. And then it does nothing.
Yeah. Well, but unfortunately that's because you haven't played the game with the thumbnail or the ridiculous clickbaity title, and I'm pretty sure that's why we are well undersubscribed to where we should be, because we try not to play that game to a level which is just sickening. Like some of these people out there, it's disgusting that they can pump out shit content, get 1 million views on it, and it's just shit.
Yeah.
And but hopefully when the tide goes out, we'll see who's got their fucking pants on, and we'll be, in a much better position to grow, because our audience genuinely really likes us. We'll get. It's like what you were saying earlier, Al, about the support from fans and the crowdfunding thing. As a percentage, I'm sure that we would get way more love than one of those wanky channels that people just go click, that's a view, but whatever, didn't really like it, and turn off after a minute. Yeah. So we're playing the long game, but it does make me sick.
See, I'm the same as you. It annoys me. The clickbait shit really annoys me, and the scantily clad woman on the thumbnail, or watch this crap, the police stops biker, all this stuff, and people click it. But then, from what I understand from YouTube, view retention's a big thing. So surely if they click the video and it's not what they thought it was going to be, and they click off and go somewhere else, I would have thought that harms it, but it doesn't seem to.
Well, yes, but there's two different routes, isn't there? Because there's the direct revenue from YouTube, which is, let's face it, pittance. But there's also the pull the wool over a potential sponsor's eyes by saying, hang on, I've got 1 million subscribers here.
Yeah, granted.
You know, check out my thing. And they go, oh, well, and a non-savvy company may go, well, we're going to give our money to the why would we give it to the guys with 200,000 when that guy's got 1 million?
Chris, you've turned into a Dalek at my end. There's loads of interference.
I think it's your internet. But anyway, it should be all right in this.
Okay.
Did you follow that?
I think so. I think I got it.
But basically, it's defrauding genuine companies who want an avenue to put their product out to the audience. They will, if they haven't done their research, will give it to a channel with 1 million subscribers over us. Yeah. Which, that's not right. But then, you know, we can prove the return without getting too commercial about it, which they probably can't. So, you know.
Yeah, I think like my sort of limited understanding of the marketing side of the British biking industry, I think they're beginning to learn that. I think they're beginning to caught on. That there are some that still go with, you know, Instagram followers and views straight away, but there's others, I think, who definitely appreciate like the depth of your community following.
I think engagement is the key word.
Yeah.
Like, you could look at a much larger professional body motorcycling journalistic channel, count the comments on that, and they might have 200,000 views on it, but it might only be 60, 70 comments.
Yeah.
Whereas we could have 50,000 views and 600 comments.
Yeah.
So that's the difference is engagement, and I think we just need, moving forward, in order to try and grow our channel into hopefully making some decent money one day, is we need to take that information and then try and communicate it somehow to the people who are interested in working with us. So that's the difficulty.
Yeah. So I'm assuming there'll be questions. I'm assuming there'll be questions along this line anyway. But I'll go there. Where do you see 44 Teeth heading? Or where would you like it to go?
I mean, Chris is the good thing is Chris is a consummate businessman, and it's always like, you know, he's always the next step is all about, you know, funding it and how it's going to work, and that is obviously brilliant for business. And I've as long as I am earning a living and riding bikes, then brilliant. But we need to take it to the next level. We all want to make some money out of it.
Yeah.
I'm sick of riding, driving around in shit vans and living in a tiny house and not being able to afford my kids. So, but afford to feed my kids even. But so I'd love to TV production. If someone comes, Netflix and that sort of thing, or Ketflix. Comes along and says, here, have a check and go make some amazing content. Brilliant. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny, isn't it? Because you think I think a few people watching may have thought, oh, those guys, they're on fire. Because really our channel, I'm going to be big-headed, is fucking brilliant. And we should be We should be living in mansions with nice stuff. We should be, and not buying trainers on finance and shit like that, which we've got to do sometimes.
Yeah.
And literally, how long have we been doing this? 4 years now?
5 years.
5 years. So March this year was the first time I got paid anything from this business. So it's taken that long to get to where we are, which is brilliant because, in a way,
and pay off the debts.
And pay off the debts. Yeah. Pay off the debts.
Yeah.
So it's going in the right direction, and we've done it all organically and off our own backs with the matey approach, which is brilliant, and it should always be that. It should always be a couple of guys, some mates, maybe someone else will come in or out, whatever. But there has to come a point to step up to the next level, and whether that is a 44 Teeth website does something, or whether we go to Amazon or Netflix and stuff like that, and we start diversifying, and we build an apps to track your mates on bike rides, and we build a video game and all this sort of stuff. But in order to do that, we've got to get investment.
Yeah.
And that is now the Al and I talk about it quite a lot. Like, where is that? Who do we want to get in bed with? Because it's got to be someone we trust. It's got to be a brand that we like, or it's got to be, there's a lot of parameters to start the next 10 years of a relationship with, and that's the tricky bit. Because yes, we could go and find an angel investor that's going to give us £500,000
Yeah.
But what do they want from it, and what's it going to be turned into? And we don't want to lose the trust of, most importantly, the viewers out there.
Absolutely,
So
and that you get that, don't you? If your sort of viewers, if they think you're selling out, they tell you, don't they, straight away? And I think some people...
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are too eagerly vocal to say you're selling out, and it's like, it's a lot of WD-40 in that. It's like, well, yeah, but, we're working with WD-40, and without WD-40, you wouldn't have seen the bloody video for free.
You have the people that totally understand that, don't they? And they realise that in order for you to do these trips and these events and this and that, you need to have some corporate investment. You need to have some attraction.
And those are the people we want.
Yeah,
those are the people we want on our channel. The guys that just make stupid comments now, I just go, block. I'm not interested. I can't even bother to have an argument with you. Just fuck off.
Yeah.
Don't care. Bye.
Yeah. But it's like, I know the biking industry is a very niche industry, isn't it? As far as YouTube goes, we're tiny. There's very few people out there with 1 million subscribers in the biking niche, isn't there? And
that's my target.
Is in the mill. Absolutely.
Yeah,
oh God. Yeah. I mean, wow.
I don't know why we're not there yet, to be honest.
Well, exactly.
I've got a plan though.
Because
I'll tell you later.
You've got international appeal. It's not like you're just UK based, is it? You guys definitely have an international appeal there, and it's trying to get into the likes of America, into the Eastern market, all this sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, demographics, America is like 26% now, or
is
something
it?
like that.
I think it's a bit more than that, actually.
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
I think we're only 62% UK, then the next is America, and then sort of Australia,
Canada,
yeah. But mine, I think mine used to predominantly be the UK, and then exactly the same as you said. But then, since I started doing a Harley review, all of a sudden the American side of it is shot up. So there's a lot planned with Harley, actually. But, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see where you guys go, definitely, because it's a hell of a format, definitely. Right, Martin Beresford. My question, do you truly believe electric bikes are the future for motorcycling, and will they ever replace the joy you get from petrol-driven engine bikes?
I think there will be a time, but I don't necessarily think it's electric. I don't necessarily think there'll be something else that comes up, because as it's been proven, how long has this technology's been around a long time now, and you can only get 70-80 miles out of a tank. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
But you can only get 80 miles out of a Ducati 1098.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes,
that's my argument.
You can go to a fuel station and you can stop it.
Yeah, but
you can fuel it up.
Yeah. Agreed. But there's in my mind there is absolutely no doubt that technology already exists. The oil companies all own it. They are sitting on it until the oil becomes a non-viable product to sell, and then it's like, oh, actually, by the way, guys, we've come up with this battery and it's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I totally agree with you.
So it's like, processor companies who make, CPUs. We're already so far ahead of where we are, but they need to make their money at each stage because, unfortunately, everyone's a greedy fucker in this world and they want to maximise everywhere they can. Yeah. So that's one point. So I think that will come. I guess the key question is an electric bike as engaging and as fun as a petrol-powered bike? Now, I think there's two different things, because actually the electric stuff I've ridden is genuinely really good fun, but it's a different kind of fun. It's like, it's a different experience. It's a totally different experience. So, the petrol stuff, it's not comparable really, in my mind, to the electric stuff. It's a different experience. You're an e-bike or you're a petrol bike. I think there may be a hybrid scenario which would be pretty cool, which is like the top supercars have with a petrol version, petrol powered engine with an electric torque fill motor and stuff like that. That is super exciting. But I think motorcycling, let's face it, yes, a lot of people use it to commute, and it is a way of getting around. But ultimately, it's a hobby for most people. It's a fun thing to do. So it's a leisure activity. So I think, there will always be petrol. It's always going to have the internal combustion engine is always going to exist, and it's just that the mainstream will go electric cars or whatever. But there is still always going to be that two-stroke popping around up and down the high street. Yeah. It's going to happen. It's going to stay there.
Yeah, I mean, look at you still get steam engines kicking about, don't you? It's just a unique little thing.
Exactly. You can still buy ethanol from somewhere. Yeah. You can still buy all these other different fuels. So it's going to be fine. Yeah. It's going to be fine.
I had, on the last podcast, I had Alex Sharp from English Electric Motor Company. Have you ever done anything with those chaps?
No.
I had him on because I've done a wee bit on electric bikes, and I'll put my hand up and say I'm a total convert. Again, like you, Al, I wasn't sure if it was the future, to be honest. I thought we definitely will have to leave internal combustion, but I didn't know if electric was the future because, what I'd heard was that to manufacture the batteries caused massive environmental issues, and then when the battery was done, what you do with it? The thing just oozed chemicals into the environment. So I thought, I can't see this being the future. Maybe a step, but not the future. So I got Alec on, and same thing here. I had lots of questions posed by people, and we had a really good chat for about 2.5 hours. And he raised some really good points in that he firmly believes electric is the future, but he doesn't think where we're at now is the future. It's all about the storage. So as the technology develops, which will come into, as Chris said, as the petrol companies as they are now, once they start realising there's more money to be made in electric, then they'll start investing in promoting electric, and then that's when your technological advances are going to come in leaps and bounds. So battery development will improve. So already this year, 2020, if you look at the Zeros and the Energicas, you're now looking at a minimum mileage they're claiming of 130 miles on their lowest bike, up to 240 miles with the Energicas, the top Energica. That's exactly what Alex said. That's the exact same face Alex said. Was if you're doing 20 miles an hour, you might get that. So I'm hopefully going to get a chance to ride the new Energica, and we'll see. We'll see what it does.
Yeah. But it's like now, if you were going to go down some green lanes, I'd take an electric bike because it's not worth the hassle of pissing horse riders off, walkers, all that stuff. I just jump on an electric bike and go, do you know what? It's a easy, cool thing to whistle along and just enjoy yourself. I think horses for courses. Yeah,
and you're right, it's a totally different experience, isn't it? It's hard, although it's two wheels and effectively an engine, it's a totally different experience being on electric. It's just they ride differently, they handle slightly differently.
You get a different buzz.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you get a different buzz from it. Like it is you can't help but feel environmentally responsible and good about yourself, even though, as you say, the batteries are probably polluting as shit. But it does have that. It's got that extra layer of it's free, even though it's not free because you pay to charge it up and you paid a shitload to develop the bike. But it has that extra. Yeah. God, I'm going to do this all the time. I've just bought an electric bicycle to travel to work on, and it's the same. Like the electric power is like, this is brilliant, quiet, and you just whisper along, and suddenly speed and performance, which as a road vehicle, it's not. It shouldn't be that important. I mean, unfortunately, this Corona thing, we were down to go to Valencia and ride the e-bikes, weren't we?
With Energica,
MotoGP, the MotoGP. But the Moto e-bikes, so we were going to do some testing. So that would have been amazing, and actually that series is pretty good fun to watch. So anyway, that's enough time.
Have you ridden the Ergo, the Energica Ergo, which is the road version of their Moto E?
No.
Shit the bed. It's over 200 brake horsepower. 200 brake. It's phenomenal. Wow. No, cancel that. 200 Newton meters of torque.
I still don't understand torque.
It's nuts. I mean, you leave your spine behind when you twist the throttle. It's phenomenal. It'll only do about 40 miles, but it's phenomenal. Although that's one of the new ones that they say will do 200 miles. We'll see. Right, Adam F. As regular visitors to JHS Racing, what do you guys think of Brizzle in general and for riding?
I mean, I love Bristol. Sadly, we had to move out of town. When we bought a house, we couldn't afford to buy a place with 3 bedrooms and a bit of a garden for the kids and a garage. So we had to move out just outside, which is a bit of a shame. But there's always an Uber and a taxi, and it's we're only 10 minutes away from the centre. So, but I love Bristol. Love Bristol. So, I mean, I wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
Yeah,
love the place. Yeah, but in terms of riding, it's shit. It's the best place. The nearest and best place is the Mendip TT.
Cheddar Gorge.
Cheddar Gorge. Yeah.
Yeah. But then you're not that far from Wales, are you? You can nip up and you're in Wales then.
No, true.
And then you meet the old Bill.
We haven't done enough I haven't done enough in Wales, and we haven't done enough in Wales. But again,
that might be changing as soon as lockdown gets released.
Yeah. Well, yes, yeah.
The old Bill. The old Bill don't seem as hot on speeding. I might get a lot of pelters for this, but the past few times I've been over there, it doesn't feel like there is as many old Bill loitering around the roads as there used to be. I don't know. Well,
I don't know. I mean, certainly the Mendip TT. I mean, I've been stopped numerous times there, and the coppers are brilliant. They just say, look, do 30s and a 30, 40 and a 40,
Absolutely.
50 and a 50. As soon as you get unrestricted, go nuts, boys. And that's a quote.
Yeah.
Go nuts, boys.
I got, because I said that on my videos, because that's what we're taught in the old Bill, that's what Bike Safe tell the public, and that's the corporate message which we pass, or I used to, and the police pass to the public. Because I said that in my videos, this inspector said I was promoting speeding. She said you should never be telling anyone it's okay to speed, and it's like, I wanted to turn around and go, that's what we bloody tell people at Bike Safe, but you're like...
I remember I did a Bike Safe, semi-enforced by an officer of the law, and it was fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
And it was me. The other guys on the course were like sort of newbie sort of people. I had a Repsol Fireblade, and it was just me and this one copper, and we just went out for an absolute smashing.
Yeah.
And like all round Dorking area, and like absolutely, he was on an RT. And we were flying into this corner, and I swear he almost binned it like 10 times. Like I was like, "How is he getting this thing?" And he'd be like, I went around this roundabout a bit fast, and he stopped me, and I was like, "Oh, okay." He went, "Oh, mate, no, next one's much better for knee down. Let's go around that one." And I was like, so anyway, had an absolute hoon. Of course, exactly as you say, and it's rightly so. 30 to 30, respect the limits.
Absolutely.
And but then it did open up, and. On a de-restricted road, I was overtaking cars very close to some serious speed, and a marked copper bike behind me, and these on a Repsol Fireblade.
What a
and
buzz!
The cars must
What
have
a buzz!
Thought, God, this, he's getting fingered by that bloke. But actually, we were just out for a jolly. It's brilliant.
The best fun I think I've had.
But I learned a lot, and actually, just on a serious note, go and do a Bike Safe.
Absolutely,
I did it. I thought it was brilliant. I really did enjoy it.
Is that another half hour? Oh shit, it is as well.
Yeah. Do you want me to clap?
Yeah, got him.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Listen to my bottom roar.
As you said, totally. I think with the Bike Safe, generally they are almost all of them. I know a couple that are a little bit, hello, they wear the white hat and that's that. But most of them are bikers through and through, and they love what they do, and they want to promote safe riding, which there's a time and a place. I don't think speed doesn't kill. Inappropriate speed kills.
No, exactly. I'm so glad you said that, Bruce. So glad you said that.
There's a time and a place, isn't there? And if there's no options and you've got good vision, and it's only your own.
Weather's good. Surface is good.
It's only your own fuck up that's going to have an impact there. And for me, it's the thought of hurt. I don't mind hurting myself, but it's the thought of hurting someone else. So. If there's other people about, you calm the flannels, don't you? You take it easy. But if I'm up in the mountains or I'm on an open road and there's plenty of vision, then fill your boots. If it's a national, off we go. But you've got no justification, have you? You've got no defence there, because if you get done, you get done, and that's that.
Yeah.
Right, okay. What else do we have here? David Bucholtz. Well, this sounds like a proper New York name. David Bucholtz. Sounds like he's NYPD.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah, Tony, yeah.
Mr. Rami and why?
I thought that was Sylvester the Cat. Do that again. How much work do they actually do on the bikes in the budget bike battle, or is it all James? Also, do they include James's... oh, right, it's a bit personal. Also, do they include James's labour rate in the budget? Don't worry about that. How much work do you actually do on the budget bike battle? On the bikes?
Well, James does all the work on Chris's bike, and I do all the work on my bikes.
You are such a fucking liar. I cannot express how shit you are at dealing with your own shit for your bike. 2 seconds. Hang on.
Sorry, just replying to an WhatsApp.
Yeah, well, I've got lots of work to do. Hang on.
But we'll carry on anyway then, Al, will we?
Go on, yeah.
Right,
yes.
Okay. Next one, well, as we thought, next one's asking about the future for 44 Teeth. If a TV deal was offered, would you take it? Well, I think you'd be daft not to be perfectly honest.
Well, you say that, but we've already
been down that route, yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, I mean, we've already, we've been in contact with 2 or 3 different companies, and it's all very well. If someone says to you initially, someone says, "Oh, here's a check for such and such money," but actually, when you break it down, and they take all of your IP and everything you own already,
yeah, absolutely,
and
That's
have the potential to crush you.
Yeah, they want to extract it away from you, and then you just become presenters on their TV show.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, well, this is shit now.
Yeah. Yeah, totally agree.
That is 90% of everything, and that is our biggest problem with wanting to put what we do on a different platform, because you couldn't. Netflix maybe, language and stuff, but you could never go on TV. What we do, it just couldn't. So,
and we was a sort of a period of about it was a good sort of 6 months where we were up in London in the what's that, Groucho Club?
Oh yeah, in the Big Smoke.
The Groucho Club and various places, having meetings with these sort of la-di-da TV production companies, or not production companies, but the kind of well, they were production
producers
companies,
and the media buyers and all that crap, and it just turned to like, I think if we do anything, we'll do it ourselves. We'll find the money from somewhere. We'll crowdfund it. All we got to do, there's some really shit stuff on Amazon. And it's like, how did that get there? We just need that little piece of the puzzle, and we'll finance it to get there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't actually realise the process, do they, with regards to like TV programmes? Generally,
and how many snakes there are in the production industry.
But it's like you go out there and you fund it, however you fund it, whether that's through investment or yourself, and you produce your series, don't you, your show, and you sell that then to a TV channel. It's not like the TV station comes to you and goes, right, I'll give you 50 grand and we'll go and do this film. You go to them generally with the final product, don't you?
It's different.
No, I think there's different ways of doing it. You can get commissioning to produce a pilot. But that is when you'll get generally properly rogered. Because they'll want the caveats will be so deep, and eager little noobs like, oh my god, we're going to be on TV. You just take it, and before you know it, they're up to their elbows in your anus.
Yes.
And I mean, the fact is, Mrs. Brown's Boys on Saturday night on primetime BBC, that gives you some idea of the state of this country and what people want to watch. I mean, just fuck off. I mean, seriously.
And isn't that like I'm amazed that that's still allowed to go on, because isn't that like a gender fucking thing at the moment, isn't it? It's a bloke dressing up as a bird and everyone's laughing.
I don't get it. Right? I don't find it funny. I just don't find it funny, and everyone's going on about it.
It's the worst program in the world.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Anyway, never mind. Okay, one from Sven Amundsen. Sven Amundsen. We need to get the story. Why did you two get together as a couple? Now, you've given this story umpteen times, but over to you.
So I was at Fast Bikes magazine. Chris was. The first time we met was at Landau, actually, in Wales, wasn't it?
Yeah, we'd had some telephone conversations before.
Yeah.
Basically, you saw my channel and you're like, that guy's fucking cool. And
he's so fit.
And he's so hot. And I want to get his dick like right in my ass. So I gave him a call, and before you know it, we're in.
But so Chris, they're both there to do a feature with Swansea University and Landau, and apparently Chris lost the cards or something.
I did.
He did, yeah. Lots of footage. So I published my piece in Fast Bites, and Chris didn't do anything. But then, yeah, we just kind of hit it off, and and kind of went for a couple of bums and.
Well, I got invited to Portimao for the Fast Bike Sports Bike of the Year thing. So went down there. We had a good couple of beers and a giggle. I met Gary there first time.
You filmed that, didn't you,
forget.
Chris? Is that right? Did you do the filming for
no.
it? Oh, right. I thought you did.
No, he produced it.
Ah, right.
No, but I did edit the video. Yeah. And then we were talking, and at that time Fast Bikes was talking about selling up to a different company that was going to have to move. So we were kind of said, well, should we try and do something? And we did. That's it. It's not massively exciting. That's just the way it worked, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I listened to the podcast, Al, that you did with Dom and Chrissy. And you were mentioning that you kind of in your head you could see a different route that maybe the motorcycle industry, the PR marketing industry was taking away from sort of magazines and more online. And,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I totally get you, and you can see that now that likes of MCN and that, MCN in particular have seem to be doing a lot more work on their YouTube presence, and because before.
Well, that's that's the thing, because at the time, digital was nothing. Was like no one gives a shit, and that's exactly what we wanted to do. Was something that my channel. The reason we were talking is because I was doing digital without even really knowing it by doing this blog thing, and it was like, actually, hang on, we can make this into a commercial digital avenue, and it's going to take these dinosaurs of companies that, well, they still haven't even made any sort of attempt or dent in doing it properly like we have. So, yeah, that was all from the start.
Yeah, I could see whether or not I did something. It was perfect timing, really, because when me and Chris met, it was like we started chatting. But if I'd met Chris, I would have done something anyway. And I don't know what that would have been. I don't know how, if I was still be here now. It would have been yeah. But the whole point was print was dying and is dead, really. And I think there's still a time and a place for it, but in terms of magazines, it's just dying. And I needed to get out. I needed to make my own future. I needed to sort of be in control of my own destiny. And I kind of am now, but I've got a daddy.
You've got a daddy, yeah. Right, Dave Houghton. Question for all three of us. You've all made some cracking tour and trip series over the years to all manner of places. Is there one bit of kit you never tour without? Oof.
Condoms.
You never know where Chris has been.
I'm joking, princess.
Sheesh.
One bit of kit I never tour without: earplugs.
What, your flappy screen?
Earplugs. Earplugs are more important than anything.
Earplugs?
Your flappy screen?
What is that? Is that for the bike or for the snoring at night?
Both. And I have had to wear my earplugs when we have shared rooms, because we both do, because we both snore like absolute fucking rotters.
Yeah. Guilty.
But earplugs, I just can't. I can't believe I ever used to ride without them.
Yeah. I never wore earplugs up until probably tail end of last year. I started wearing them, and then this year I got that new Ruroc lid, the new Ruroc Atlas 2, and it's a great looking lid. I love the look of it, but it's noisy, man. The wind noise is incredible, so I have to wear the earplugs for that. But now, since I've started wearing it, I've noticed I've got tinnitus. I can hear that high pitched whine every now and then comes in. And it's like, shit, I never knew I had that before.
Well, they say if you do more than 50 mile an hour or something for X amount of hours per week, you're gonna get it. It's just a fact. You're gonna have a loss of hearing. And it's not the loss of hearing. Tinnitus would send me absolutely bananas.
What's that? He nearly did.
It's not that. That's not the reason I wear earplugs. The reason I wear earplugs is because it takes the intensity of everything away,
Yeah.
you can still hear everything perfectly. I don't like people are, I want to hear something. Like, you can still hear everything, but it just takes that hot, right engine noise, takes everything, especially on the racetrack as well. Like, I believe it makes me a calmer rider wearing earplugs to focus on the things that are important. So, honestly, without earplugs, it's racing a bike on a track. It's too intense for me. I can't deal with it. It's like, and it adds to that whole, like at the beginning of the video, the whole anxiety.
Yeah.
You know, if you've got something screaming in your face, you're going to be more tense about it. But if it's calm, and you just knocked that 20% off the top of it, it just then becomes a little more manageable, and you can focus on what you're doing.
I never thought of that. I never took that into account at all, to be honest. But yeah, you're right. Yeah. Al? Well, condoms, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, condoms. Yeah.
Condoms.
Because they're so useful. It's like WD-40. It's like gaffer tape.
He's backtracking. He's
What are you
backtracking.
going to do with a condom? Apart from wrapping around your cock and balls when you can't get it hard on.
That's the trailer.
But you know, water bombs. You can fix leaks with it.
Water bombs.
Yeah.
Because that's so useful when you're stuck with no tools.
Animal
on
party
the middle of
balloons. You can make some animals for the kids, that sort of thing. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
I get you.
Look, mummy, a dog. Oh, it smells like jizz. I hate the smell of spermicide as well. I hate that smell.
Of sperm?
You
hate the smell of sperm?
Spermicide on the Johnnies.
Spermicidal lube.
Oh, Jesus. Right. Okay, next question. Steve Mason. Question to all three. If you could ride any bike to any cafe in the world, what would you ride and what would you order?
Well, I like the order bit. That's mixed it up. Because I was about to say, I hate bike at cafes. Wouldn't order it. I would go. Any bike in the world.
Ooh.
Depends what time of day it is. Did he specify a time of day?
He hasn't. No. Why is that
Should
happening?
we make time up?
Well, what's your favourite?
You might get we might get breakfast back.
Yeah, but I mean, bacon. You can have bacon any time of the day or night, can't you?
I prefer sausage. I'm a sausage man.
Well,
definitely a sausage man.
Enough said. Fair enough. We're in the noughties. This is allowed.
I'd take a Desma Sedici.
Damn it, that was my bike.
To Bologna and have a pizza.
Oh, you're so highbrow. Wow. Okay.
But I like what you've done there because that makes the journey longer. So I like that.
Yeah,
so,
you can go via Saarbrücken.
You can go via Saarbrücken. Yeah. Well, because of the Black Forest Road.
Pardon?
Because of the roads in the Black Forest, obviously.
Yes. Yeah.
I would take a. That was going to be my bike. Oh, fucking hell, there's just too much to choose from. I don't know. I'm going to make a stupid choice now and say... To be honest, I'd just take a 1250 GSA and go as far as I could to... What I really want to do now, and I'm going to do this when lockdown is over, is I'm going to get on my GS and I'm going to ride it to Istanbul.
Istanbul?
I'm going to get Istanbul.
Wow.
And I'm going to order something Asian-y.
Doner kebab.
A tagine.
Istanbul, good call. I think, I was going to pick the GS, but since you've done that, I'm not doing that. I would take a Tuono, the new one, and I would ride to Riano in the Picos, and I'd order a Radler, which is their lemon beer. It is awesome. Have you had it, lemon beer?
Nice. No.
Never had lemon beer.
You just made me rethink my. You made me rethink my my place. I want to go back to Peru.
Ooh.
Wow.
You can't ride to fucking Peru though.
Wow.
Okay.
You can't ride to Peru. We have to get a big boat. It'd be right pain in the ass.
Whereabouts in Peru would you go?
Don't know. I don't know where we went.
To be fair, the Moroccan, where we went to Ali's Palace in Morocco.
Yes.
That was. Fucking. Yeah. In fact, I took GS there actually because it was
Ali's
amazing.
Palace, what the one Marzuga, right on the banks, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it's awesome with the pool in the middle.
You've been there?
Yeah, I've done that.
You've been there.
It's awesome. Yeah,
Ali's a legend.
Yeah, I mean, he's every biker that's been to Morocco knows Ali, don't they? He's it's a legend. Did you do the camel trip out into the desert?
I did.
I thought it was too cruel.
It's horrific.
Not for my anus, just cruel for the camel.
It's amazing.
I hated it. An hour and a half.
My camel was called Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, was he? Yeah, mine was mine was an evil bastard. It really was. It hated me. I mean, to be fair, it had 21 stones sitting on its back, so I wouldn't be particularly happy either. But yeah, this thing just sort of, like horses do, it just sort of looked at me and thought, yeah, I'm the daddy. You'll do what I want to do here. And yeah, it wasn't pleasant. I didn't enjoy it at all. Okay, right. Ali's. Yeah, Ali's is a good little place. Mazuga, isn't it? That's what it's called.
Mazuga. Because we were going to do the Mazuga rally.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Because we went there with Mick Extance, so we rode from Ouazzazate to Mazuga, all off road. Get your Wazzers out. That was actually probably. In fact, I retract my other best biking thing I've ever done, because I think that was probably it. To be fair, and I hate off road.
Morocco, honestly, I mean, it's whether on or off road, it is biking nirvana. I love the place.
It was the people.
Yeah,
and it changed your opinion of everything, didn't it, Chris? It was a real eye-opener.
And the funny, and yours, because the first night we got lost and one of the bikes went missing, and we were all sort of sat on top of this dune, and it was getting dark. Well, it was pretty much dark, and it was like, shit, what's going on? And then that we could see the bike coming, and we're like, yeah, we're over here. And this bike was like, hang on, that doesn't sound like a KTM. And it was like a local.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's fucking Taliban. It's fucking... and it turned up. Hang on. And turned up. And it was going, you know, where are you staying? Where are you staying? And we're like, oh, we're looking for the hotel just there. And I went, nice one, mate. Just tell him where we're living.
Yeah.
But it went from that, which was first day.
Let me just say something. That was the time. So we arrived 2 days before. 2 girls were beheaded.
Oh,
like 200.
Yeah,
just down the road. So
it's true. But
that was up in the Atlas Mountains.
It was just funny because
that.
But that's the Western. That's the media material that we get fed. And so that was and my opinion as well. After you said it, I was like, oh shit, maybe they are fucking dodgy. But it turned out that was the hotel manager. And he came to find us and take us to the hotel. But it's just, you know, you don't... What I'm saying is, don't listen to all the shit you see and read in the papers and all this, because it's all fucking... You'll know everything about that, Bruce, going around the world.
I mean,
some of the people are just amazing.
It's clickbait. That's all the media is these days, is it's got all to do with fact. Yeah. It's clickbait. It's what gets them the views, the clicks on their titles online. That's all.
So they can sell advertising space on their fucking shitty web pages.
Yeah. I used to see it. It used to amaze me. I would deal with sometimes some pretty horrific things on the streets of London, right? So literally, like, one thing springs to mind. A young kid got stabbed, Peckham Queen's Road, where Peckham bus station is. This young kid got stabbed, right? And helicopter lands. I'd only been in the job about a year, and they opened him up. They opened his chest up on the pavement in London, right? And literally, it's hand on the heart, start massaging his heart. And it was like, oh my good God. Jesus Christ, this is unbelievable. You get home after dealing with something like that, and, you know, your head's blown. You're sort of like, okay, I can't believe. I switched the news on because I want to find out more about what's happened as well. Not even mentioned on the news. You know, and you suddenly realise, you see where the media's priorities lie, and it's so much stuff just never gets reported, and utter shit makes the news. And you think, what is going on here?
Yeah, a dead badger was found on the A303.
Yeah, and it's never good news, because bad news sells so much better.
Absolutely.
And that is the worst. Yeah. Like, I this whole COVID fucking lockdown, I've stopped watching. I'm
the same.
To be fair, I stopped watching before it. But I cannot... The BBC can go fuck themselves. Any media outlet can go fuck themselves, because it's all a load of fucking shit.
Yep, totally agree. That first week, I made a mistake, and I was glued to, like, Sky News, the TV.
And of course people go out and panic buy, because you're fucking panicking them, you fucking twats.
Absolutely, yeah. And then I did the same as you. I was just like, you know what, I'll watch the odd little briefing every night. Well, not every night. Every couple of nights I'd watch the little briefing just to see what's going on, direct from the horse's mouth, so to speak. And that was me. That's all I did. And you're right, that first week, shitting myself. After that, it's like, oh, well, you just deal with it, don't you? Yeah. Anyway, off the soapbox. What is the... Do you need something, Chris?
Sorry, carry on. No, I'm just trying to get this email thing. Sorry, go for it.
Right, Mark Kennedy. Question to all three of us. If you could become any racer from any of the championships from any decade to race next season with all the modern bells and whistles, who would it be and why?
KTM Super Duke Cup, Al Fagan. It's got to be MotoGP, isn't it?
I'd say.
Which one?
I'd say the early 90s. Well,
I think it's got. Well, I'm fairly recently into bikes, to be fair. So all the 90s, 80s stuff, noughties even. It's not a memory for me that's like, I remember that.
I'm the same.
So
yeah.
I would just choose the modern technology, because I'm going to assume it's probably not, but I'm going to assume it's the pinnacle of engineering. So I'm going to choose right now, and I'm going to choose Marc Marquez's Repsol Honda.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to go for early 90s GP. So that's what I grew up watching. That's those heroes: Wayne Gardner, Schwantz, Rainey, Lawson, etc. Those are the boys that they had some big balls, and those bikes were awesome. So I'd say Wayne Gardner, Rothman.
Sorry,
Wayne Gardner, Rothman's Honda, Phillip Island.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm like you, Chris.
Was the question, what would you want to be, though? With the question, what would you want to race in?
Yeah.
¿Por qué?
Yeah.
¿Por qué?
I was just clarifying that. So that's the bike you would want to race.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same as you, Chris. I'm late to this. It was sort of halfway through 2008, I think, that I passed my test. So I'm quite.
I passed my test in 2008 as
was
well.
It? Oh, right.
Literally
okay.
July 2008.
I'm exactly the same. I think it was either mid-June or mid-July I passed. Yeah, exactly the same.
I got my wallet in my pocket. See when because does it say license on it?
It does, yeah. It gives you a date.
We're going to be license buddies.
There we are. Go on then. What's yours?
Oh,
hang on.
Where does it say
on the back where your entitlements are. A category
96. What does that say?
He's like, I haven't got my entitlement.
That says 2014.
What on?
Why would it say
for category A?
AM. Yeah.
No, not not AM.
Oh, A. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm August, actually. Sorry. 040808.
17th of July 2008. Oh yeah, see, back in the day when I was riding.
So 17th of July. So how many days is that? 20 days difference?
About that. So basically, I've got more experience, Chris. Basically, that's what that says.
Yeah. Well, you have ridden around the fucking world.
Oh, but not mention that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, get over it. You're fucking such a one-trick pony, Bruce. Fuck's sake.
I know, and I'm like you. I hate off-roading.
Yeah, we've all gone on fucking long rides, mate. Fucking hell. I remember this one time I was eating bear in Siberia.
when I was crossing out of Mongolia. For me, it would be I would want to be Hutchie 2014 or 15 when he had was it 5 or 6 TTs in one hit? The bloke was a god.
2010, wasn't it?
Was that 2010? Oh yeah, it was TT closer to the edge. Yeah. 2010. Yeah, 2010 Hutchie closer to the edge. That was phenomenal. I mean, the bloke was a god on a bike, wasn't he? Absolutely unbelievable. Mm-hmm. So we have had a refreshments and a toilet break. Let's crack on back here.
Brighter in here.
Oh, where's everyone gone?
I'm here.
Oh, hang on, I've got a spinny wheel. What the hell's going on here?
Oh no.
Media import. Apple, yeah. Right, let's go back to that, and then a bit of this. Right, back in the room. Here we go. Dave Moore, one for Chris. Can we get a discount on the Jizz Machine website? Don't worry about that. No, good. And for all, the planes versus bike video was epic. Oh, thank you very much. Would Chris and Fagan be interested in joining in with future joint videos? I think a Teams thing with them on board would be brilliant. We'd be up for that, definitely. Did you see we did a bike versus planes sort of thing with TMF and Richie V doing that. Yeah, we loved it. It sort of bombed a little bit with views, but we loved it. But yeah, we could, if you're up for it, we could do a sort of little challenge thing, couldn't we?
Let's do it, Bruce.
Right, okay, we'll get the thinking caps on.
It's on.
Let's go around the world.
Yeah. I've done that. Have I told you about that?
No, tell me.
Right, Andy's... no, we'll not ask that one. Pete Hamazedai. Question for all. Whilst riding on the road is great fun, does the thrill of riding on track trump it for you? And does the...
Absolutely.
Yeah. And does the fun factor ever get old or diminish over time?
Track all the way. I mean, I still enjoy going for road rides. I still love riding bikes, whatever day it is, whatever weather. But nothing, I started racing before I was on the road anyway. So I get that buzz from either motocross or riding on track, and nothing beats it. I mean, and that's the problem as well. When you get to ride on track all the time or racing, and you get to the road, and you've got to tame it back, and it's just not. It takes the edge off it. But like I said, I love bikes. Full stop. Don't care where it is.
I got to admit, I'm the opposite. I kind of, because I'm shit on track. I sort of don't enjoy it as much. I prefer the road, and I can't, because I don't do track that much. I don't read it right. When I do a track day, I ride like I'm on the road. I don't ride a track. I don't ride race lines, and I hate being overtaken. I hate it. So for me,
it's not
I
the place
prefer.
For you, then.
What's that?
So it's not the place for you.
Well, yeah. Get overtaking in the novice group. Yeah.
I think it's two completely different activities with two completely different reward sets for me. And it didn't used to be. The faster I've got on track, the slower I've got on the road, and I treat them two totally differently. One is the road for me. Apart from commuting and necessary stuff, it's generally like touring, where it's all about the excitement of where you're going to go, what you're going to see, what you're going to eat in this weird little cool cafe that's got these nice little pastries, and where you're going to get pissed, and what whorehouse you're going to end up in. That stuff. That's the important stuff. It's like it's a sort of all-you-can-eat buffet, but it costs a lot to get in.
Right, gotcha.
So the experience is totally different. And track
I'm coming on tour with you.
Track. I fucking love track at the moment, and I think it's just because I'm at the peak of my game that I've never been faster, and so I'm seeing the rewards and going, actually, this is really fucking good. So the rush is there.
Yeah.
I've just done my first ever race. I know it was a silly half competitive thing for that budget bike battle, but being in a race suddenly has opened up a whole other world for me, and I'm just in that space of fucking hell, I can get gratification for going really quickly, which you can't get on the road. I couldn't anyway, and road riding fast now, I couldn't give a shit. I don't even like riding sports bikes on the road now, to be honest. Don't see much point in it.
See, Rossi's getting slower at 42, and Christopher Eades is getting faster at 42.
Imagine if I started earlier,
Right, Matt Rowe Designs. What happened to the Smoking Customs BMW bike?
I rode it the other day to the shops in lockdown. Yeah.
You'd rebel.
So, I needed some milk, so I took that.
Damien. Ooh. Do you think the real Jason Statham will ever make a cameo on 44 Teeth?
Yes.
Yeah, and Sue Perkins.
We've got him in with Stath.
Nah.
Yeah.
One of our mates knows him.
Have you?
Jimmy Fetter knows him as well.
Jimmy Fetter knows him, yeah. So it's going to happen, and one day we will get Sue Perkins and Jason Statham in the same place or if not in the same place, they will link to make a video.
The dream intro would be them saying, all right, I'm Al Fagan, and you're watching 44 Teeth.
Yeah, brilliant. You got to do it. If anyone if anyone out there knows either Sue or Statham, please put the word out, help the lads out. That would be mint.
Can I just make a point on this? I don't see how I've ended up with Sue Perkins and Al has got a fucking action hero. like muscly action hero that's really cool, and I've got the ex-Bake Off lady.
I'm sure she's done a lot more.
She has done a lot when she went around Tokyo, and it was a very informative series.
Matt Rose asked again, Chris, tell us the poo in the room story.
Poo in the room?
Poo in the room story. And Al, did you ever go to Yeovil roller disco back in the day?
Poo in the room. I don't know what you're talking about. Someone did shit through my letterbox once. Like, actually put their arse up and shat through it.
Wow. That takes some doing.
It did, yeah.
All right, we'll not ask about that. Al, Yeovil roller disco.
I never made it to Yeovil roller disco. I kind of stayed away from Yeovil because it's a shithole. Sorry.
Right.
Sorry.
Okay. So I'll just have a quick read to make sure the question's any good. Okay. From Otto Bennett. Would you ever consider doing a 44 teeth version of sports bike off... 44 teeth version of a sports bike off-road a la the infamous Baron von Grumble episode. So get a couple of sports bikes and do some off-roading on them.
Well, we have been talking about getting the old Gixxer out, sticking some Bridgestone AX41s on and smashing the green lane. So we've been talking about doing that. And we did do Sparkcross.
Sparkcross, mate.
Which was amazing.
What a place. Yeah.
If you haven't seen Sparkcross, it's like a crazy festival in Holland. Well, it's part of the GP circuit, isn't it? Motocross GP or something?
It's a motocross track, yeah. So there's all the MXGP motocross riders are there on the same track, and we're riding on road tyres. We were the only people on road tyres, weren't we, on these KTM Dukes?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And it was... I mean, you did one lap and then rode home in an egg.
I did do one lap. Well, no, I had to be at Goodwood that night.
Jesus.
And you didn't even go to Goodwood?
I didn't make it, no. It was too fucking late.
What else we got here? Andy Mancam. Has the mechanical meltdown of the latest budget bike battle shaken your motivation to do another? If not, what will it be?
Well, first off, it absolutely hasn't changed things at all.
Good.
It hasn't changed it at all in terms of fear or shaking. It's budget bike battle is where it's at, and we've already got. Well, we've got one of the bikes for the next series anyway. So yeah,
as he said, yeah.
You know, it's when things go wrong. That's what makes TV, isn't it? That's what makes the viewing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, Pete Hayworth. Really enjoyed the latest Budget Bike Battle Challenge. My question for all three, which gives you the biggest buzz and do you enjoy riding more? The latest 200 brake horsepower superbikes with all their wizardry, or the more raw riding experience of the older superbikes, like the ones you abuse down to Spain?
It's a tough one. I really enjoy on track. The modern superbikes, apart from ABS, which is just ridiculous and is dangerous and just ruins the whole.
Only on Japanese bikes.
Pardon?
Only on Japanese bikes. Like the ABS, like the Aprilia and the Ducati, the ABS is pretty amazing.
Yeah, all the European bikes are fine, as is the new 5-blade. But yeah, there's something about spanking an older bike. I mean, if it was a Minter and there was no problems and everything worked, brilliant. But I love people who say they should ban electronics and shouldn't ride with electronics. Just fuck off, mate. You've got no idea. Riding on the limit and those new electronics, they really help you go faster and feel the limit. And it's just I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough question, but I'm a bit of a tart, so I like all the new bikes.
Yeah, I got to admit, I love all the new bikes with all this new power. I mean, for me, I will never get anywhere near because I'm on the road anyway, but I'm not that sort of level of a rider that will ever test any of these new bikes. But to ride a 200 brake horsepower bike is just, I mean, what a thrill it is anyway, just the fact that you're on this machine. For me, I always go with the new ones. I've got no experience of the old ones, to be perfectly honest. What about you, Chris?
I'd go new as well, but just flashback to Aragon earlier this year.
Yes.
We both enjoyed more riding the 916.
Did you?
Behind me there.
Yeah.
But then
when it went.
When it went.
Yeah.
So I think there's two completely different experiences, and you can't really. They're not really comparable anymore. I don't think you just. One is I want to go as fast as possible, which is the latest shit. The other one is I just want to enjoy myself, which is that.
Yeah.
And I think you make a choice.
Yeah, definitely. Right, we've got through all the Patreon ones. We're now over onto Instagram. So TeapotOne Insta, give it a follow if you've not been there yet. Phil Tonic, to both of you lads, what was your worst night out or hangover experience?
Well, I know mine straight away.
So
mine is Carcassonne, when I got date raped by the bloke who owned the gay bar. I've never been so physically sick in my life. I thought in fact, for a moment, I could feel my intestine on the back of my tongue, where I'd been puking up so hard. We were a bit pissed, but I mean, he dropped a roofie in my drink, and I spent the whole of the next day, pretty much all of the next day, spewing my ringer. Yeah. I've never been so ill ever.
Wow.
I was in the room next door. I heard you all morning throwing up, and at about 3 o'clock, we started to ride all the way through Andorra to Barcelona, and we got on the bikes at about 2 o'clock, and then about 50 metres into it, he got stung on the eyeball by a wasp.
So I take it
that's all on video. That's all. Well, not the the aftermath is. That's on. Funny enough, I watched it the other day just as a.
I watched it last night.
You watched it last night?
Yeah.
Because did it come up? Because I watched it.
Yeah.
So I watched it because I was thinking about how different our videos were then and now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was when we all went to Park Motor on the R1. I think it's called R1 versus ZX10R.
Check that one out, folks.
Yeah.
Do you find that? Yeah. I mean, what do you think when you look back at your early stuff then? The early vids. I mean, obviously for you, Chris, you've got the whole Baron von Grumble thing. What do you think when you look back to your vids?
I can't believe how much of life my own brain has deleted.
Yeah.
You look back and go, "Fuck, I remember that." That was, and at the time, and I guess for me, that's partly the reason I made these videos was because it's a diary, and it's too easy to forget.
Absolutely.
And then you look back and go, God, I remember that. And as soon as you see anything, you're like, oh, I remember that little cafe thing. I had that, horrible milkshake or whatever it was. And it's just amazing looking back and just as a memory. Whether it's improved or not that's not really quantifiable, because again, camera technology, if you look back 10 years, it all looks like absolute dog shit.
Absolutely. So,
so that's one thing, but looking back, it's a nice memory, and I'm very glad that I made all those videos.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm the same. It's just, as you said, the quality, technology moves on, doesn't it? But it's all those memories, and it's not just. You see that footage, just like looking at old photos, isn't it? You remember the feelings that you had, and all the experiences and memories that came with that maybe aren't on that shot. You remember everything that led up to it. Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, right, very deep. Let's move on. VFR 800 on the road. Favourite bikes you've owned, and if you had to own only one bike right now, what would you buy?
GS Adventure.
Okay.
New Super Duke.
Ooh, which the new one that's out?
The new one, yeah.
Oh, okay, I've not ridden that yet. Go on.
Spicy. The best bike I've owned. Probably my 1999 CR125, which is sat right here in my living room.
Seriously?
Yeah, in the dining room. Yeah.
Well, the frame is.
You two need to. You need to.
Is.
What's that?
The frame is, yeah.
The frame is.
Yeah, it's undergoing some serious. I mean, that bike. So that was a bike I raced the last couple of years of my motocross, and then took it back to my sponsors, Branson's, who then gave me the Hornet to race, and the rest is history, as they say. But that bike was sat there. It's beautiful. It's got so much sentimental value, and it's a 125 two-stroke motocrosser, and I bought it back from Branson's. Sort of 3 or 4 years ago. So yeah, I love that bike. I love it.
Awesome. Chris, you said the GSA.
Yeah.
Go on. Why?
Again, and it doesn't. To be honest, it doesn't matter which one. I've had a few. It's the experience that bike allows me to have. And yes, someone on this podcast rode a fucking GSXR around the world, but
wasn't me.
I don't like to talk about it, but yes, I did. Yes,
but just
74,000 miles, 54 countries, in 442 days. Yes. TeapotOne.com.
It's the experience.
YouTube, subscribe.
It's the experience that bike allows you to do. Everyday riding, it's just as fun on the road. In fact, I find it more fun these days.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with, I can't, no, knee down, any of that stupid, wanky bullshit. It's just liberation. Yeah. And for me, that's what motorcycles, on the road we're talking about, not race bikes, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I'm this...
I've got to say, you can...
So go on.
Sorry. That's it. Chris, you converted me. When I was... the first couple of years of 44 Teeth, I'm too young for a GS. But then again, I rode yours, spent a lot of time in it, in the saddle, and I'm what a bike! Yeah, you can do. That is the most versatile bike in the world. You can do everything. Yeah. Didn't you ride a GS on the track day, Bruce?
Yeah. I take it on track. I think it's easier to get your knee down on a GS than it is on my Gixxer. For me, it's just easy. You just throw the thing in and down it goes. Yeah. Yeah, I love it, and I'm the same as you, Al. They were the Antichrist. GS riders and GSs. Fuck that, I'm never doing that. You may as well just die. You may as well chew a bullet. But then I rode one, and it all makes sense.
Yeah. You finally give up fighting, for all of this bravado-y bullshit. Yeah. Oh, horsepower, da. And suddenly it doesn't make any sense anymore. And you're like, actually, I'm having more fun on that massive fucking the Volvo of motorbikes.
Yeah. It's got more grunt low down. It sounds awesome. It's huge fun to be able to overtake sports bikes in the corners on a GS.
And let's face it can go off road.
Oh,
it's not like it doesn't nod to it. It can. I did the Brecon whatever it is thing on it, and it was pretty impressive.
It'll do it, won't it? Anyway. It does everything sort of 85-90% perfectly, doesn't it? And as you said, you can ride that bike down to Jerez if you want, with a week or 2 weeks of clothing on the back, and then take all that crap off, and then burn round the circuit, and then come out and go and do a little trail somewhere if you want. It just does everything. So yeah, GS forever. Although V4 Multistrada.
Yeah. I don't put the Multistrada in the same category as the GS.
Do you not?
I don't know. It just doesn't feel the same.
No, it's a superbike engine. Then the GS isn't a superbike engine. That's the thing. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, to me, it didn't feel as utilitarian. Is that the right word? It didn't feel as all round as a GS on the road. Phenomenal, but I did like low speed stuff in towns. It was a nightmare. Whereas the GS just does it, doesn't it? It's just more manners. It just whatever you throw at it, it'll do. Anyway, let's stop blowing the smoke up BMW's arse. Okay. Alan _B_1. What have you filmed and recorded that during editing you realised was a step too far, so couldn't be included? Tell everyone.
Welcome to our nightmare. It's every day.
Yeah.
And the amount of absolute gold as well that we've had to just drop onto the cutting room floor.
Have you?
One day when we're about to do a Barmer drop the mic moment, it'll all come out.
What? I think the most recent one would be when we were driving down to Aragon and we filmed a rant in the van. And half of it couldn't make it in. I mean, even Chris is always like, oh yeah, I saw it, yeah, would you put it in? I'm like, no mate. But even Chris is like, no. It's not going in.
Can't say that.
It was, but I don't know. And there's obviously the budget bike battles where we go out and do stuff, and there's yeah, like you said, Chris, it's a lot of it. I say half of what we do we can't put in.
Oh man, now I'm like, where can we pay to see it?
And this is why we have to trust our camera operator.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Which is why we involve him in anything that we might do. So then it's
and take lots of pictures, so you've got incriminating evidence. Yeah, all received.
Oh yeah.
Kuda 3112. What's jizz? Google
Sperm.
it. Google it. Sperm. Yeah, that'll do. Marcus Wilson 09. Would you consider doing a budget camping battle like the one guys you did with the drum kit guitar? I challenge you to do a similar thing.
Potentially.
Ooh. Oh, hang on. He's starting to piss on our chips here, because this is something that we were potentially doing. A 125 challenge around Scotland. Maybe we could race you guys.
I'm not interested.
No?
I'd do it against someone else as an extra challenge, but other than that, I just can't be bothered.
We'll speak after this, because there could be something involved here, right? Okay, sorry, I'm just having a quick read of that. It wasn't actually a question, he was just saying that he loves you.
Who does you too?
The Jesse Lapham. Do you have any thoughts about racing strength and conditioning? I'm studying strength and conditioning and thinking about writing my dissertation on strength and conditioning to do with MotoGP racing. Ooh.
I'm not the man to ask.
I saw that.
We have thoughts on it.
I saw that video you did, Al, when you were training with with Scott Reddin.
Oh,
yeah, but we have thoughts on it, and we were going to do some very specific scientific testing, which we can't tell you about because it's amazing.
But yeah, we're going to do it. We are going to do it.
You are?
But
awesome. I look forward to that.
Yes.
The physical fitness, I mean, of course it makes a massive difference to a rider. That's
the one thing I regret in my racing, that is I never took the fitness serious enough. That's definitely, and I should have done.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a couple of mates who, when I went away and did my trip, they always wanted to do racing. So No Limits started the No Limits Cup, that budget entry thing. So they started doing that. So when I came back, they were halfway through the first season, and they were on the road. They were fast. They were really fast on the road. But then obviously you take that next step, don't you? You go to the circuit, and they were racing against guys who, even in that basic amateur level, were spending a lot of money on their bikes, and they were doing fizz training. Whereas my mates are sat there with beer on the go at night and eating burgers with the barbecue going and stuff. And they all said exactly the same thing. When you get out on the track after sort of third, fourth lap in a race, they were fucked. Whereas everyone else was kicking in and they could maintain it.
And don't forget the sheer advantage of being a 55 kilo rider versus a 100 kilo rider.
Yeah.
The advantage is massive, and just general frame and size, like being able to tuck. What was Taryn McKenzie clocked at on a standard R1?
190 something.
190 at the back straight of Almeria. Fair enough, it was on a new R1, not an M. On my Aprilia, which was pretty quick, I was clocked at GPS, this is as well, not on dash, 159.
Jeez.
And the R1's probably 10 horsepower, 20 horsepower more, but still.
Wow.
Yeah, 40 mile an hour difference, top speed.
That's phenomenal, isn't it? You Al, you did, was it you that went to Colin, the Texas Tornadoes ranch? Was it?
Oh yes.
Did you see the Pedrosa toilet under the stairs?
Yes.
It's a tiny cupboard under the stairs, isn't it? Yeah. It says Pedrosa's. That made me laugh. That. Yeah, what a place that is, isn't it?
Where did that come from?
Oh, what a place! I'll tell you what, I want to go back there tomorrow. I'd love to.
Well,
yeah.
When I said to my lads when I was getting married, and my best men were like, "Okay, what do you want to do for your stag?" It was just, I want to go there. Can we go Texas Tornadoes? But there's only about 4 of us rode bikes, so that was a no. I mean, it's just man heaven, isn't it? It's stag heaven, that place.
Oh, it's amazing. Everything about that place: guns, beer, bikes, and
meat.
Oh, yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Boobs.
Yeah.
Boobs. Yeah.
Yeah. You could probably. I like Texas. That's all I'm going to say. I like Texas. How are you guys for time? Because we've been cracking on for a while.
I've got 10 minutes max, really.
Okay, mate. Right, no problems.
Let's do quick fire.
It's only because my house is so small that my wife and kids are upstairs, locked away in the room.
Oh, sorry, mate. Right.
So
okay, right. We'll crack on. I'll have a quick read. I'll try and speed read through and pick and choose what questions. Okay, right. Counterplaques for all of us. Can you give us some idea, some insight on the behind-the-scenes effort required to start up, grow and run a successful YouTube channel, plus create such good quality content? So.
Just don't bother. Just don't bother. Like, you've got to be... this may sound arrogant or whatever, but you've got to be... you've got to have an interesting character, number one.
Yep.
Nobody's going to watch a fucking bore. So... You've got to have a bit of X factor about you. Mm-hmm. You've got to have dedication, resilience, and it's just
lots of money.
And lots of money. And particularly now, it's just a fuck fest. I wouldn't even bother.
Yeah, I totally get you. It's I think people don't appreciate, for the 99% of YouTubers out there, how much time and effort it takes to even get 1,000 subscribers, so that you pass that first.
Well, that's the hardest bit.
Yeah, it is. It is. People don't appreciate, because all they see is the one that chucks a video out and it gets 8 million views like that, and there's few and far between that. Okay. Oh, there's an interesting one.
My battery's about to run out as well.
Is it? How long do you think you've got, Al?
Don't know. Not sure. Should we record a goodbye just in case?
Okay, let's do a goodbye then.
Yeah.
Right, gents, thank you so much for joining in on the podcast this week. It's been a riot. Really loved it. Appreciate you guys coming on.
No, thank you, Bruce. Much appreciated, mate.
And,
thanks for having us.
Maybe if we can... That'll be quite cool, someone said, about us doing a sort of them and us teams type battle. We'll put our thinking caps on, see what we can do. So,
it's on.
Folks, if for whatever reason you've never heard of 44 Teeth yet, check the links down below. All the social media links will be down there. Give the lads a follow and a subscribe. All right, lads, you look after yourselves. We'll meet up once freedom returns. Stay safe, look after your families, and we'll see you soon.
Cheers, Bruce. Love you.
Cheers, guys. Right, that'll do for the end. Right, last question then. In, out, through. Your predictions of a COVID-19 impact on sports bike industry and new bikes market.
It's a massive question.
I mean, Ducati are back making bikes, but companies like KTM, who have closed the factory a long time ago and then won't be there for a while. I mean, thankfully there's no major motorcycle manufacturers in France. I know Yamaha have got a factory, but it's not good. It's not good at all. And those who say that there's going to be racing this year, how are they going to have? How are you going to have people in the paddocks? How are you going to have social distancing in the paddock? I can't see it happening. And it's going to go on. I was a bit blasé and a bit kind of ignorant to it all, naive to it all, but I think it's going to go on for a lot longer than first thought.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I think the world has changed permanently. It's not going to be like this permanently, obviously, but things have happened. Not just. I think it's such a big question. It's not just about sport. It's about people's lives. It's about what people value over anything, and what they want to do with their lives. Do they want to have a swanky, stupid, expensive motorbike that costs 25 grand, or do they just go, actually, I've got something else more important I need to spend my money on? I think it's a wake-up call to lots of people who live their life on the edge of finance.
Absolutely.
And that whole finance industry, which is taking the piss out of people, the whole thing's going to change. And I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be big.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I see that as well, and that it's been the norm, innit, to PCP financial. I'm as guilty as everybody. I never buy a bike. I always get it on the tick.
Well, we haven't had anything to worry about for 50 years.
No, exactly.
Really, have we?
Exactly, yeah.
And without being negative, I'll just put it as a positive. There are also many good things that have come out of this. I think a lot of people are going to be looking at again what is important to their lives and their families and stuff like that. But I think working from home. I think most people have seen now that it's quite possible to work from home. So even if most companies say, yeah, you can work from home 2 days a week. That's 30% of traffic that's just disappeared from the road.
Absolutely.
That's all the people that live in villages and small towns that might actually have people in those villages and small towns to buy a sandwich, to buy flowers or whatever. So this smaller microeconomy is going to start coming back. And I think in people's brains, there's a lot of buy local, there's a lot of help from British farmers and stuff. And I think there's going to be a massive impetus into homegrown stuff,
totally
whether that's industry
and the community
or food.
spirit, as you touched on there.
Yeah,
it's really brought that out. And what you, as you said, what you value, the people that you value and their friendships and your family and things like that. What's important. So not all negative, definitely. Big changes afoot. Okay then, lads. We'll leave it at that then. There's literally so many more questions that we've not got to, but we'll maybe do a round 2 one day and take up from there.
Or we'll do a quick fire 1-word answer in a couple of weeks.
All right, cool. You're on. Gents, thank you so much for joining. I really do appreciate you boys coming on board. I love what you're doing. Absolutely love it. There are big things ahead for you, lads. You can see that for sure. Out of everybody, you guys seem to be grabbing it by the horns and sort of taking the whole bike industry, the media industry, where it should be going. So I look forward to seeing where that goes. As we said before, we did a goodbye about 10 minutes ago, but we'll do another one now. Thank you so much for everything that you've done. Look after yourselves, look after your families, stay safe, and is it? All right.
I can say goodbye though.
Well, okay. Yeah.
Now I can talk about Al because his battery's just died. Basically, I can't stand working with that fucking little shit any minute fucking longer. I've had enough. I've had it up to the fucking eyeballs with that whiny little fucking.
You should see what he texts me about you, Chris. It is unreal. All right, gents.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. All right, you look after yourselves. Appreciate it.
High five.
Ta-ta. Right. Wow. Yeah, folks, there's a lot of questions there that we didn't get to. Do apologise about that, but obviously family commitments and things. It's still almost 2 hours that we've been on the go. So I hope you enjoyed it, folks. Like I said, fire on over to the 44 Teeth YouTube channel and their social media. If for whatever reason you're not following those boys, they are producing some top quality content. Really enjoyed that, folks. You look after yourselves. I hope you did too. Yeah, we said it before, haven't we? We will get through this. We will come out the other side. And when we do, we are going to have some fun. Stay safe. Look after those that you love. But most importantly, live your life. Woo-ha!